I don't like telling my name. Charlie Worthen.
Okay.
This tape will self-destruct in 7 seconds.
Okay, I know I said to be close, but like, don't put it in. He's too silly for this. He's too silly for this. He's not taking it seriously. I think he's nervous.
Nervous?
I don't know. I guess I thought he'd be a little. Be a little more.
Why would I be nervous?
Subdued.
As long as this stuff shit don't go out on social media, I'm fine.
Sorry.
It's not, right? Can you, Pat, go get me a piece of paper and a pencil so she can sign something.
It's hard to hear.
So I can say it, so I sue her. Patrick. He ain't gonna hear nothing in them damn hoodie on. 1954.
Oh my God.
The world will change forever.
We're not gonna do the whole thing in one day.
I can't do the Orson Welles voice? Crap.
Yeah, you can. All right, check, because we switched places, but I think we're still good.
Who's gonna get me beer while I need?
I will. Mom will.
Yeah, Mom will. No, she won't.
Here, let me let you. This will be fun. Hear this. It's more fun this way. You can kind of get a better idea of what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the real deal.
Yeah, it is. That's pretty cool.
Do you want to keep it? Does that help you?
No, you keep it.
Okay.
You're more important than I am.
I am? I got that on tape.
Well, you're producing this stuff.
I
That's
am.
on tape.
Mm-hmm.
Erase that shit.
Are you guys playing a game?
Could you keep it down? I'm trying to do a podcast in here. Hey, y'all go outside and play.
No. I'm not. I don't want you to leave. Just look. Hey, just a slight volume. That's it.
Yeah. Whisper. Boy, you sure are diplomatic. I would say it. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
I should be a politician.
All right, now we're recording this now?
Yeah, we're recording now.
All right.
So, through the years, you've become quite the storyteller. And I've seen you sit around the pool, have a couple beers, tell stories to people. And I've heard these stories over and over again. And I've always thought we should record them.
Yeah.
Not that you're ever going to die, because you're definitely not.
Yeah, maybe.
You're not.
No.
And that's not the motivation.
Yeah.
It's just they should be saved.
Well, the more beer I drink, the better my stories get, too. So you got that for you.
I figured that you would be drinking a beer today, so I brought the microphones and thought we could have a beer together.
Sure we can.
Okay, earlier today we were having lunch, and you started talking about... And there's no theme or anything. This is just going to go wherever it goes.
I got you.
But earlier today we were talking about camping because I'm going camping next month in the mountains with my girlfriends. And you mentioned, so you asked if we were tent camping. I said yes. And you mentioned a time when you were tent camping and it was cold, right?
Yeah, it's always cold.
You only went when it was cold?
No, most of the time it's cold. But that's the best time to go because it's all the colors and stuff.
Oh, yeah. That is nice. So what happened this time that you were telling me about?
Oh, Richard Russell Highway?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I had a brand new sleeping bag. Sears. Mama bought it for me.
Oh, who were you with?
A mummy bag. Pete Abel and Steve, my cousin Steve. And we were riding up Richard Russell Highway, and it was dark, late, and we decided we saw a persimmon tree, and that'd be a nice place to sleep right there under that persimmon tree. So I got that bag out and got in it, and it worked. It worked so good I had to get all my clothes off because it was so hot in there.
So what was the temperature outside versus inside?
I think the temperature had been like the low 40s maybe, but the bag was rated for like 20 below zero, so it got hot.
So it was overkill for that.
It was overkill, yeah. You don't need one of them for Georgia.
So you guys didn't even get a regular campsite. You just pulled over?
No, we just pulled over on the side of the road. It wasn't no campsite.
And is this the time that you brought your bike?
Oh no, that was Labor Day, 1974. I think I rode down Richard Russell Highway. Part of the way down it, I rode, and the rest of the way down it, I rolled.
So tell people what Richard Russell Highway is.
Richard Russell Highway is a scenic highway between Helen and Hiawassee, and it's curvy and steep. And I thought it'd be a good idea to take my brand new Schwinn Voyager down that thing at about 65 miles an hour. Turned out it wasn't such a good idea.
Do I need to ask if you even owned a helmet?
No, I don't have my helmets. We didn't do helmets back in them days. But Skip Vickery was behind me in his Dodge Ram pickup, and he said he was doing about 60, and he said he was scared to go any faster, so he just let me go, and he was seeing how fast I was going. Well, obviously hyperventilated. That's what the doctor said anyway.
So he was scared in his truck to go as fast.
He couldn't go because we're real curvy, and you can take it on a bike, but you can't take it in a big old pickup truck. So I went off the road, and
oh my God, you went off the road? Yeah,
I went off the road because he said my hands just collapsed off the handlebars.
So you panicked?
No, I passed out.
Oh my God, you passed out?
Yeah, I hyperventilated because the doctor said I had my mouth open, and I was inhaling more oxygen than I was exhaling, so I just passed out. And he said my hands went off the handlebars, and it went off the side, and it flipped up in the air 3 or 4 times, and when the bike came down, it hit my collarbone, and that broke my collarbone. That's the only thing. If it hadn't been for that, if the bike had missed me, I wouldn't have a scratch on me.
Seriously?
Seriously. But if I'd went off the other side, it'd still be looking for me.
And I wouldn't be sitting here.
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We went to Helen to the doctor, and come to find out, Helen didn't have no doctors. So I had to ride all the way to Hiawassee. About 15, 16 miles, windy roads, and I was dying.
Oh, man.
But I got to Hiawassee and got to the hospital, and they gave me a shot of something. It was some good stuff. But I was all right. I got home and watched the Jerry Lewis telethon at Mom and Daddy's.
What did your mom say?
Oh my God, Charlie!
He
done hurt himself. Something like that. I'm sure. I don't remember, but that was my brand new Schwinn Voyager.
Is this before or after you were dating Tater?
I never dated Tater. She was a good little friend up in the mountains.
Uh-huh.
We couldn't talk English, but they were just friends. We had a lot of little friends up there. No, nothing serious.
Okay.
Not on my part, anyway.
Oh, poor Tater. Tell the story about when Tater asked you about going to the fire.
She actually came to Douglasville. Tater did. I don't know how they found Douglasville, but they did. Her and a couple of her friends came, and they came over to Mom and Daddy's house, and we was there. And she asked Mom and Daddy, said, "You uns coming to the fire?" And they didn't say anything because Mama thought they was going to build a fire out there somewhere, and we was going to come to the fire. I mean, she said fair, but, it was North Georgia talk. She said fire.
She was talking about the Georgia Mountain Fair?
North Georgia Mountain Fair, yeah. We all knew what that was. What she'd come out of her mouth, we didn't have a clue.
Oh, we do joke about Tater. I wonder what happened. I wonder if she's on.
Last time I heard, she was pregnant. She looked like a rope with a knot tied in her. She was a real skinny little thing. She was, I don't know whatever happened to her.
So tell me about your dad, for some background before we go into the San Salvador piece.
We may have to edit the San Salvador piece.
Well, this is also going to describe some illegal activity.
Illegal?
But I think there's probably a statute of limitations.
Illegal's a sick bird. Illegal.
Speaking of sick birds, it's a good segue into this about your dad's extracurricular activity. Actually,
it's cockfighting.
I guess it was a job. Would you call it a job?
It was a job because he worked at a cotton mill making probably $5 an hour, trying to raise a family and making house payments, car payments, all this stuff. And he didn't make no money. And the only way he made extra money was cockfighting.
How did he get into it? Like, how did he?
He was way before I came along. He was into it for years and years, and he was real good at it too because we had a lot of good Christmases because of his cockfighting ability.
Oh yeah, tell us about the time he came home with the
pocket full of money, 2 pockets full of money. I don't know. He just walked in the door. It was around Christmas time because they always fought roosters in the winter, in the fall and winter, because they're out of molt. You don't want to fight a molting chicken. You don't even know what that means, do you?
When their feathers come out.
Yeah. But anyway, he came in the back door, and he just reached in his pockets and started throwing money on the table. And he reached in another pocket and started throwing money out on the table, and just started sort of piling up. And I don't even know how much money was there. It probably wasn't as much as it looked like. It was probably maybe $800-900 worth. But
oh God,
pretty good back in them days.
How old were you?
I maybe 10 or 12 years old.
Had you ever seen that much money before?
No, Lord, no.
Or since?
Or since. Yeah, no, it was pretty good because we had a really good Christmas that year. I remember that. He worked at J.P. Stevens Cotton Mill over in Atlanta. and they gave little packages for all his kids, bags full of candy and toys and stuff like that. And that was pretty neat. That's pretty much what we had for Christmas.
So then, how old were you when you started helping him?
Oh, I was probably 15, 16 years old before I ever got into it. Yeah, I had to be because I had a little money in my pocket. But yeah, I'd probably still be doing it if I hadn't got married.
I think they're a little tougher on it these days.
Yeah, it used to be legal in a few states. I don't think it is anymore, but it was. I know people think it's brutal and all that, but it's what they do. I raise a game rooster. That's what they're made to do and still do.
Yeah.
You can't turn them loose together nowhere and let them.
That's why there's only one, right?
That's right.
So you started helping him at 15, 16, and then you guys were kind of partners?
No, he always paid the entry fee. I just collected help. I just collected the money and went out. But no, him and Howard Head they started out. I mean, I don't know where Daddy started with, but I knew Howard, and then after they were a team, and they were in Grit and Steel magazine, leading money winners in the state of Georgia for several years, and then I think Howard got out of it, and Daddy just went freelance. Anybody bring some roosters over there, he'd condition them, and they'd put up the entry fee, and he'd get part of the winnings. That's the way he did it. But it was pretty lucrative at the time, but you could lose your ass too. I mean, you could, even no doubt about that. We'd come home broke before.
Tell the story of the time when you guys got busted by the police.
Well, we actually didn't get busted.
But that
was
don't give away the punchline.
Well, I mean, okay, I'm sorry. I guess I already have. We were in Summerville, Georgia. I think we was in Summerville, and we was in a pasture way back in the woods, and a pole barn. That was the pit. They had a pole barn in the pit built inside of it. Concession stands. I mean, they had the whole 9 yards. It was nice, and there was a crowd of people there. It was a whole bunch of people, and they were into several matches, and all of a sudden I look up. I'm at the concession stand, and I look up and I see this state trooper sitting at the door, and he's probably 6'6". He's a big old boy, and this girl behind the concession stand, she looks back and sees him, and she hollers, "Raid!" And it looked like a bunch of roach bugs scattering everywhere. They was gone. Everybody was running, and people jumping out of the pits with their roosters was tucked under their shirts, and they were everywhere. Well, there was like 6 county cops, state patrol, everything. They were all out there, and we all thought we was going to jail. I see my daddy, my Uncle Hubert, and a guy named James Arvey over there sitting on the bench over there, and they said he wasn't about to run. They was too old to run. They wasn't going to go ahead and take it. So, come to find out, the sheriff of that county, I'm not sure what county it was, but anyway, his brother owned that pit, and this was all a big prank, and they to get him a big old kick, big old laugh, and well, they got one too. They were rolling when they. And people 2 hours later, you could see people sticking their head in the back, sticking their head over the hills. They're see if it's gone. They finally cleared out, but you couldn't find a seat. You couldn't buy a seat there. But when they showed up, you could sit anywhere you want.
That's funny.
It was hilarious.
Did they have the lights on to make it more cars?
No.
It was
they
just
didn't bring the light. They didn't have the
lights.
lights.
Oh, so they weren't
on.
with cars.
You talking about the police cars?
Yeah.
No, they didn't. They come in stealth mode. Yeah, they didn't want to be seen, but when we did see them, it was havoc.
Did your dad ever get arrested?
I think he got arrested one time in Douglasville, in Bill Arp actually. Well, no, I don't think he ever. They got raided, but he never went to jail or anything. They just raided them and fined them something, but they never did. But the funny thing about that was Howard Head was walking down Highway 5, somewhere out there around Bill Arp. He was walking down Highway 5 after they'd all scattered into the woods. And I think he said Red Hembry was a deputy in Douglas County. And he pulled, Howard walking down the highway, and he pulled up and asked Howard, says, "You want to ride?" or something like that. He knew he'd been busted. He wasn't about to run no more, so he got in the car and went on back with him.
So who's Howard?
Howard Head, Daddy's partner in his son Keith, and we graduated high school together. And he worked for Lockheed, and Daddy worked in the cotton mill. So Howard's a money man. But they were good. They were really good in their time.
What'd your mom think about it?
She had no opinion one way. She never expressed her opinion one way or the other. She probably didn't like it, but there was no way she was going to stop him. So that's what he was. He was into that like he was into baseball. Great baseball player, I was told.
Mm-hmm. So did he take you camping, or did you just start doing that with your friends?
No, I did that. I did that on my own. No, I matter of fact, I took him camping.
Okay, so tell the story about San Salvador and the guy with the gun.
Oh,
this is one of my favorites.
Well, that was scary.
I like it.
That was actually scary. We land in San Salvador, and when we get out, everybody.
Hang on, wait. Explain what you were doing there.
Okay, well, we were there to a slasher fight. They call them slasher fights. They fight in gavs in the United States, and they fight slashers in Latin American countries, and the Philippines and all that. That's where they because the fights don't last as long with the slashers than they do with the gavs. But this guy Billy Abbott from Lawrenceville, he was a big time cockfighter, big time. I mean, he was probably the biggest in the state of Georgia. He got this group together, and they was going to get a trip going to fight roosters in San Salvador. So a bunch of people went. There were so many people there. There were so many chickens on that airplane that they couldn't get the luggage on there. I think I had my luggage, and maybe two other people had their luggage from Atlanta to Miami, and Miami to San Salvador. And we took a nice big Delta plane from Miami to Miami, and when we got to Miami, we took Taka Airlines. And I was praying to God we could make it over that water. But it was a trip.
How did you bring the chickens on Delta?
Oh, you can haul anything on Delta. You can haul roosters on Delta.
Well, yeah, I guess, but that seems complicated.
Well, I don't know how. I ain't in charge of that. So
your dad took care of that part?
No, my daddy didn't go.
Oh.
This was me and the Skinner boys. Howard, Ray, and Charles Skinner.
What'd your dad think about you going?
He was fine with it. He was fine with it. He wasn't about to take that trip. He wouldn't do that. But anyway, I was just adventurous, I guess. But we landed, got my luggage and whoever else luggage was there, and then everybody else came in the next day. Well, when we left the airport, they shut the lights off. I mean, it was done. It was closing time at the airport in El Salvador. I think we took I don't know, it was a cab or a bus, whatever we took to the city, and we got off, and it was like 2:00 in the morning, so we got a hotel there, and we was roaming around the city there, and we stopped at this little outdoor bar, and it was at 4:00 in the morning. What are you going to do but drink, right? So we got some beer, Suprema or Pilsner. I think that was the only two beers I had, but we got one. We was sitting there, and we was looking around, and there wasn't a whole lot of people there, but one guy at 2 or 3 seats down from us had a pistol out. He pulled a pistol out of his pants and he didn't point it at us, but he turned it on the bar towards us. He didn't have his hand on it, but I got the message. I saw it first, and I tapped on one of the Skinner boys, and I said, I think it might be time for us to leave because he don't look too happy. So we got off real calmly and threw our peso down or whatever it was we paid with, and we left and went to the hotel. Finally got a little sleep, I guess, and it was all havoc. I don't think we slept after that for like 5 days. I don't think we slept.
Yeah, that was a good welcome.
Yeah, it was. And then wake up the next morning and you got the federale stormtroopers coming through the hotel. You don't know if there's a war going on. And come to find out, there was a war going on between Honduras and San Salvador. We didn't know that. That wasn't in the brochure. So
the Skinner boys didn't tell you?
No, the Skinner boys didn't know either. They could care less. They if they'd been shooting, they wouldn't have cared. But that's the kind of people they were. But it made me a little anxious, I'll tell you.
How'd the fights go?
Well, make a long story short, I had to borrow money to get out of the country.
Oh my gosh! So
you got to pay a tax to get out of the country, and I didn't have the money to pay the tax, so I had to borrow the money. Never did pay him back for that.
He's probably forgotten by now.
Well, he's dead now, so. But that's pretty much all I remember about that. All I remember that I can share.
Wait, what?
That I can share. That's all I remember.
Oh boy.
I can only say that the women there are real friendly.
Sorry, Mom.
She knows about it.
Is Mom my real mom?
She knows about it. Yeah, you're not dark complected enough.
Okay, gross. Moving on.
Yeah, you should move on from
Since
that. You asked that question. I didn't ask it. You asked it.
Well, you
started that
You
crap.
baited me. Hold on, it's a beer break. Patrick, get me a beer.
Yeah, well, hey, while you're in there, bring me one.
Okay, Dad. The champagne of beers. It's meant to be ironic. It's disgusting.
No, it's not. It's meant to be true.
You and Kat Kraft are the only two people I know that drink that.
That's a good kid.
She is a good kid.
Go all lost Joe's mind. How do you think it? How can a beer connoisseur like me be that wrong? Thank you.
Thank you.
You didn't open it for me?
Here, cheers. Since this weekend is your 41st anniversary, and I've already recorded you talking about Mom, but you know.
I ain't got nothing else to say about her.
Let's do it anyway.
Okay, I will. Am I on the air now?
Yeah.
No, shit.
You're not on the air, but we're recording. I hope. God forbid.
Yeah, better be. 'Cause I ain't doing this again. I'll tell you one story about her.
Okay.
I think she may have to correct me on this, but I think it was our second date. I think. I may be wrong about that. But anyway, we went on Altoona on Charlie's boat, brother-in-law's boat. Well, I tell Charlie, take me to the cliffs. You know where the cliffs are at Altoona?
I do.
Okay.
That's
pretty cool.
They're
aren't they?
really high. Yeah.
Really cool, too. So I had been off the cliffs before. It wasn't something I had never done before. So we pull up probably 50 yards from the cliffs, and I dive off the boat. And I didn't tell her none of this stuff. She just found out for herself. And I found out later that she was pretty dang nervous about that. So I swim over to climb up the cliffs. I felt like Elvis Presley in Fun in Acapulco. Climb up. I go to a 30-foot cliff and a 40-foot cliff, probably 30 or 40 feet. And I get off about the 40-footer, and I dive off, and I swim right straight back to the boat. And the look on her face when I got back on that boat was like, I never want to see you again. You are an idiot.
I have made a terrible mistake.
Yeah. I'm going to call it in right now.
So this is your second date.
I think it was our second date.
So she had just met your sister
and
her husband.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good second date.
It was. We had fun.
Other than that part.
Well, that part she couldn't pee on a boat.
So she didn't get in the water?
No, she didn't get in the water. She had to go to the bathroom, but she couldn't pee on the boat. The boat had a bathroom in it.
Why couldn't she pee?
I don't know. You'd have to ask her.
Mother, can you come here a second? We're going to have a special guest appearance.
Yeah, special guest. Why?
Mom.
Why could you not pee on a boat?
Okay, Dad, scoot over. Let her sit down. I need you to talk right into the... Yeah. Okay, so Dad, your second date, Dad takes you on Charlie's boat. This is brother-in-law Charlie, to Allatoona, and he scares you by like jumping up and jumping off the cliffs.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And he says that you couldn't pee on the boat.
No, I couldn't.
Can you explain that?
In the microphone?
She just slapped him.
I can't lie on radio.
I don't know why I couldn't go on the boat.
So there was a bathroom.
Yeah.
There was a bathroom in the boat. Yeah.
But and you didn't get in the water and pee, which is
I didn't get off the boat. Just
were other people swimming?
We didn't. Oh, I was the only one that swam. I was the only one that got in the water.
So you just couldn't pee on the boat. There's no reason.
no, just couldn't go on the water.
But you had to pee.
Yeah.
When she was walking up the pier to when we docked the boat, she was walking funny. She was walking real funny because she had to go bad. But anyway, I thought it was pretty funny myself. She didn't like it, but
She hit him again. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Well, that's not really interesting, but I just wanted to know why you could.
it was interesting.
Have you peed on a boat ever?
No. Well, she peed on a cruise ship.
That's a little better.
Well, that's better than jumping in the alpha that damn thing.
Yeah, that you don't come back from that.
No.
You guys went on a cruise.
Yeah.
What'd you think about it?
I'm not a fan.
Why?
There's just too much damn water out there. I need to see some land. I'm not a water person. I'm not a ocean person. I'm a land person. I just if you float out there for 2 or 3 days and never see no land, it just got old. I didn't like
You
it. I
just
mean, it was okay. I'm glad I did it, but I wouldn't do another one.
You just don't like the beach much.
I'm not a beach person either.
You're a mountain person.
Sand gets in places that it shouldn't get. I mean, there's no reasonable explanation to where sand can go. I mean, you don't even get in the water, and I got sand in my drawers.
And it stays a long time.
It don't. You got to pressure wash it out of there.
Gross.
It's awful, but yeah, it is. And there's stuff in that water that you can't see.
Well, what about the river? I remember hiking.
River. I can deal with rivers.
So this is funny. I remember hiking and camping with you, and we'd fill our canteens
in
a river,
absolutely,
and just drink it. And now, if you do that, you get an amoeba.
Oh, it's just terrible now.
What's happened?
I guess more bears are peeing in the creeks. I don't know.
I don't think that's
but
what.
They had spots in North Georgia up the mountain roads there with a pipe running out of the mountain where you could stop and fill up a jug with mountain water. Lord have mercy, you can't do that no more.
I remember.
And I have no idea why.
I think I remember you telling me that if you got it in like the foamy part where it was like rushing over a rock, that was clean.
Yeah, that's what I always thought.
And I told someone that as an adult, and I will tell you that
it's not true.
I was very made fun of.
So I drink it right now. I would drink it right now and not get sick. I don't know. I drank it all through my childhood. Never got sick once.
I did too.
I drank it in San Salvador and I crapped for 3 weeks.
That's different.
Yeah, I know. But you know.
It's just weird though, because people's having, there's brain eating amoebas, flesh eating amoebas.
Yeah, but that's in the ocean.
No, I've heard it in rivers.
Nah, it ain't happening.
Okay.
You're misinformed.
Okay, fake news.
They don't have that crap in the mountains.
Oh, do you remember the time? Okay. Do you remember the time that we went to Wildcat Creek for the first time?
Oh, yeah, I do. Was Mama with us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember now.
It was me and you. I'll let you tell the story.
Yeah, me, you, Mama, Pat, Marlena. Adam was there, yeah, because I remember him sliding down that rock with him, and after the first time, that blood-curdling scream after he hit that cold water, and after that, he wouldn't stop. I had to do it 20 more times before the water wasn't cold then. But
Tell him what Wildcat Creek is.
Wildcat Creek is just called Sliding Rock at Wildcat Creek, and it's just a slick rock. You get up and slide down, and everybody goes there. I mean, it's crowded. It's like an amusement park for rednecks, but it's. Yeah, we've got local rednecks up there surfing down the thing, standing up, going down it. But they were all there. The boys were there, and when you slid down it, and you come up out of the bottom, and
how old was I?
You was old enough
I was 14.
Old enough to show someone.
Okay.
But your top came off, and the first thing my mama did was say, "Heather." And she did this, and you finally found it, and it covered it back up. But I don't know if any of them local boys seen that or not. But
yeah, the funny part was that I didn't realize it.
No, you didn't.
So I'm
you
just
jumped
standing
up like
there.
You just stood up like you was in a
like I was
comedy.
Brooke Shields in Blue Lagoon.
Oh yeah, Blue Lagoon, yeah.
God, that's embarrassing.
Well, no, I don't think nobody saw you but Mama. I didn't see it. Thank God.
That 6-toed redneck boy did.
I don't know. It don't really matter. You didn't marry the redneck kid, did you?
Gross.
Okay.
Well, maybe.
Oh, one of them had 6 toes. You remember that?
I do.
Remember the guy with 6 toes?
Uh-huh.
That was funny to look at.
Funnier than me.
Well, yeah, that was that was just a funny story.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's funny to everybody but you.
Okay, you know what else is a good camping one? The Lost Mine Campground. Do you remember the one that was like cursed?
Yeah, it rained all the time.
And there was
the skunk in the garbage can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was,
and the bees.
No, that was 2 different places.
Oh,
the one with the bees was at Chatsworth. I think it was up in northwest Georgia. The other one was in northeast, almost in Tennessee, sort of straight north Georgia. What was Lost Mine? That was the name of it. That was the one with the skunk.
And we found the old moonshine distillery
yeah.
in the woods.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, y'all thought it'd be a good idea to shoot a slingshot at a hornet's nest.
I hit it, though.
Yeah, I know. That's what's stupid about it. But anyway, it rained, and it rained. And it rained. And old Boris Karloff, the innkeeper there, she decided to make sure everybody know there's no trenching. You can't trench there. Well, that woman didn't know what she was talking about. I could trench, and I did trench, because water was floating in that tent. So
you just weren't allowed to dig around your tent?
You couldn't dig around your tent. You couldn't trench water away from your tent, but that's crazy. You can if you want to. But anyway, bottom line is we slept in the damn van.
And then Mom went to the bathroom and found the skunk. Is that?
No, yeah. I don't remember who went to the bathroom. All I remember is I hear a bunch of screaming. So I go in. Somebody says there's something in the trash can. So I go in there like the hero I am, and I grab the trash can and I pick it up real easy. I'm in the women's bathroom now, and I pick it up real easy and I start sliding it out and then when I pick it up, well, hell, I didn't know there wasn't a bottom in the trash can. The bottom had rusted out, and this skunk comes flying out of the bottom of it. And thank God he didn't spray, because it would have been a mess.
Because then you would have been stuck in the van.
Yeah, it was
Smelling
awful.
like
It was awful. That's the first time I've seen a skunk that close.
Was it cute?
I don't know if it was cute. I remember Daddy run over one time on the way to North Carolina. We called them polecats back in them days.
He ran over it?
He ran over it, hit it.
You wanna hear?
We smelt that from, I think it was somewhere around Winder, because we had to go. We wasn't no 85 when we went. It wasn't no 85 highway. You just went up back roads through Athens, Winder, Commerce, all that. And he hit a skunk somewhere along the line, and that stayed with us for probably 8 hours.
Oh,
It
gross.
took us probably 10 hours to get there.
Do you think that one was that one of the last times Mom wanted to go camping?
What, the skunk did?
Yeah.
No. Well, she did camping, but she didn't do camping in the way we camp. There's got to be a roof over her head, not plastic.
Piper
So,
calls that cabining.
cabining, yeah. Pat didn't do she did for a while during the Olympics. We went camping.
Oh, to get out of the city?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. I don't
Moccasin Creek.
know. Oh, I remember the Moccasin Creek.
Well, your buddy went. April went.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
She was miserable the whole time.
Yeah, we thought we was going to take her home in the middle of the week. But,
Oh, my God.
But yeah, it was. I loved it. I loved it. I had a grill full of food, fish, corn, everything. I have the whole grill. We took pictures of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing.
I've got a lot of pictures of you holding trays of food in the mountains.
Well, that's what they do.
And you know what I do when I go camping is like the biggest thing is breakfast on a Coleman stove.
Always.
It's my favorite.
Always.
Although it's not as fun like being the person who's making the breakfast instead of just waking up smelling the breakfast.
No, it's more fun to make the breakfast.
You think so?
Oh,
Well, you should go camping with me in November.
Oh yeah, I love making the breakfast.
Do you want to go camping in November?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I ain't got
Me and a
no-
bunch of giggling girls.
No, I forgot about that.
We'll have whiskey though.
Well, I would probably need it.
Yeah, you will. Mallory's right here too.
Yeah, no.
Do you want to ask him a question?
Ask me a question, Mal.
Come on.
What's the most embarrassing thing that happened to you?
That's
good
a great
one.
question, and that's going to take me a minute. Oh, wait a minute. I may have it. All right, me and my cousin Steve, he had an old 65 Chevy pickup truck. And, of course, we going down the road. It was on a side road. It wasn't going real fast, but I was going to, you know how I do, get out the window and crawl back in the back and get a beer out of the cooler. I have a brand new outfit. I had a big old blousey shirt and some felt suede pants, and just nice. And I step back and I slip on the tire. And he got a spare tire. Of course, back in them days, you just throw it in the back of the truck. Well, I hit it and I slipped and I fell out. It was probably doing 20, 25 miles an hour.
You fell out of the truck?
Yeah, I fell out of the truck. I tore up my britches, tore up my shirt, skint my elbows up a little bit, and I did get the beer, though.
Wow, that's fun.
I had to go home and explain that to my mama. That's bad.
Were
That
they
was
laughing
pretty
at you?
Well, I don't know if laughing would be the word. They were more concerned.
Not your parents, but your friends.
No, it was just me and Steve laughed at me no matter what. I mean, he always laughed at me.
He was your cousin, right?
Oh, yeah, I love that boy.
You guys had good times.
We had the best time in the world.
How close in age were you?
I was probably 2-3 years older than him.
And how are you related?
He's my cousin.
I know, but like who?
Carl was his daddy.
Oh,
Carl and Daddy were brothers. And yeah, Steve was shit. We did everything together. Everything. Got in a lot of fights.
You fought each other?
Oh yeah, we fight. We got in a fight one time on my carport, Mom and Daddy's. And after we got through fighting, we went and took a shower together.
Oh my God.
That's how serious we were about it.
That's cute.
Yeah, got all dirtied up and went to take a shower together. Yeah.
He died when?
God, I don't remember. It wasn't long after me and Peg got. Let's see. It had to be in the early 80s, I guess. He got hit by a car.
What?
Yeah, he got hit by a car.
Where?
Somewhere in Villarica, I think.
That's awful.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't. I remember kind of. I remember.
Yeah, that was
That's really
not one of
sad.
my better days. But
I'm sorry, Dad. That's sad.
yeah. You don't tell what he'd be doing by now. He was good though. He played the drums. Ooh, good.
I wish
guy.
he'd have been at some of our parties.
Oh, he'd have been the life of a party now. He always was. He'd get in bars. I'd be old enough to get in. I'd have to show my ID. He'd walk right in. Nobody ever asked him for his ID. Ever.
Why?
Strip clubs everywhere. Because he looked a whole lot older. He looked like Freddie Fender. Had the long black hair, the long mustache. You know, he looked a lot older than he was.
That's really sad. Oh, speaking of getting into strip clubs.
Oh, really? I've been in a few.
I know. Sometimes when I drive around downtown Atlanta, I'm like, oh, I think my dad's mentioned this place. But there was one. It was at the bottom of a hotel.
Oh, you talking about the Domino Lounge at the bottom of the Imperial Hotel, in the basement of the Imperial Hotel.
I'm so curious about that.
That was a mecca. That was a mecca. That was a place where you went. If you wanted to be somebody, that's where you went.
So it was like Studio 54 of Atlanta?
Yeah, of course it was.
How did your redneck butt get in there?
Luck, I guess.
What were you doing there?
We were just right. We always rode around Atlanta. Me and Jimmy Winkles and all the guys. That's what we did on weekends. We went to Atlanta.
Yeah.
We went to Atlanta and just hung out and found strip clubs. And we found a Domino Lounge. And I'm telling you, Tammy Roche was the star of the show. She was the main attraction, and she did her show in a big bowl, like a giant cereal bowl with soapy water in it.
What?
Yeah. And they had these little cardboard these things that show the main attraction there. And well, I thought that'd be a good idea to take that home with me. And I just set it on my dresser. And just, the next morning I wake up and I hear Mama say, "Lord, Charlie, would you look at this?" And Daddy kind of looked at it and kind of smiled and looked like it was kind of a little admiration there.
He wanted to come with you.
I think he did. And we did. We went to, we didn't go to strip club, but we called a place called Earl's Place over on Piedmont. And that was a place where you had to wear a coat and tie to get in. Or you had to wear a jacket to get in. You didn't have to have a tie on, but you had to have a jacket. And you had to keep that jacket on. It was a classy place. And that's where me and Carl and Daddy and Steve went. We went there several times. And that was a nice place. That was a real nice place.
That's funny.
There ain't many places downtown I hadn't been. There none of them's there anymore, though. The 4 o'clock club.
Okay, Cullen wants to ask a question. Here,
Okay, Cullen, ask a question.
Okay.
What was your favorite childhood place as a child?
Oh, that's easy, man. That was an easy one. We had a place when we moved in a neighborhood in Douglasville, in Sunset Hills. We had a place we called it Dead Man's Curve. It was a trail that ran down. We rode our bicycles down there, and this trail came to a real close, sharp left turn, and there was a big old tree right there. And if you're going too fast, you're gonna run off that curve and hit that tree. And we called it Dead Man's Curve. And we would go there almost every weekend, and we'd camp out right there. We didn't have no tents or nothing. We just slept in sleeping bags and blankets or whatever. But we'd go out there and we'd camp with David guns out there. He'd take BB guns, shoot at us, shoot us in the butt with a BB gun. Yeah, usually we just burnt pine straw. We didn't borrow burning wood. We just kept throwing pine straw on the fire. That was our fire. But we had a bunch of good times.
Were you ever home when you were a kid?
Oh no, and you didn't have to go home. You had to go home and eat and go to bed. That's pretty much it. We didn't when our curfew was when it got dark. Except except for the weekends, and we didn't have a curfew. We built a tree house. Greg Hallman's daddy was a contractor. He built houses for a living. So he had his whole crew come out there and build us a tree house in his backyard. This thing was a 2-story tree house. And built by professional builders. And this thing was the epitome of every tree house you'd ever want to see.
Does anybody else have a question for Pop before we wrap up this first episode?
First episode. I mean, there's more.
Yeah.
Wow.
We gotta
Think about your questions.
we gotta do this every now and then. What do you want to say to anybody who listens to this whole thing?
Don't take me seriously. I mean, everything I said is true, but I've done some stupid stuff. Yeah, I've done some stupid stuff.
We had a conversation earlier about the stupid stuff we've done, and we kind of compared stories, because now that I'm old enough, I can tell you some of the stupid stuff I've done.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, instead of being mad at me, you were kind of like, nice try, loser.
Yeah,
You were
I
like,
can outdo that any
he's
day
like,
of the
you could
week.
start now and never catch up with me.
That's true. You go down Interstate 85 doing 75 miles an hour in a pickup truck, and you think it's a good idea to crawl out the window to go into the back of the truck to get a beer out of the cooler.
It's your signature move.
But sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
God.
I'm glad it worked that time because I was going a whole lot faster.
We're going to have to make this an 18 and older
This
recording.
that was pretty dumb.
I love you. Thank you for sharing your stories.
You're welcome. I love you too, and I got to go pee.
Okay. Where's it going? In the Library of Congress?
What?